That's right. All right, welcome to the show, everyone. My name is Mark. I am your host. And tonight is a special night of the share because I am sitting in front of 4 women in recovery, and we are going to do a women's roundtable. So who all do we have here? We're going to go from left to right.
I'm Candace, and I'm an alcoholic.
Nancy, alcoholic.
I'm Hannah, and I'm an alcoholic.
I'm Trish, and I'm an alcoholic.
All right, and I'm Mark, and I'm an alcoholic. Why not? All right, ladies, and I brought the recovery band here with us. Oh, yeah. And the studio audience. Yes.
That's a lot of people.
So Candace and Nancy were repeat offenders on this show. This is their second time. Nancy's ready to sing karaoke or something.
I want to sing.
Do it.
Here, all right, so we're going to start with time. We're going to go ahead and start with time. So we'll go from left to right.
I have a little over 3 years.
A little, 3 years.
I have over 1 year.
1 year.
I just hit 1 year on January 2nd.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'll have 10 years, February 16th.
Heck yeah.
Awesome.
What you got, Mark?
I've got, I just hit 21 months.
Oh my
Yeah. So, all right. So, sitting in the middle of us is a bag that says "Fight like a girl," and it's done up in like Sailor Jerry tattooing. And so, what did you do here, Candace?
Mark suggested that we just pick some random topics, so I wrote out some ideas last night for stuff topics I don't usually hear in meetings, because I get bored with the same old gratitude, step 1, same old.
All right.
So we're gonna shake it up tonight because it's ladies' night.
It is ladies' night.
All right. So, women's roundtable. We're gonna draw a subject. I will unzip. Who wants to go first? All right.
I'll go first.
Good.
Nancy, Hannah? All right, here we go. What do we got?
We have, what is your favorite type of service, and what do you consider service?
All right, so who wants to go first?
Oh, I thought Hannah was.
Me?
Yeah, go
Okay,
ahead.
let's do this. So, my favorite type of service that I have done or that I'm doing is I bring a meeting into detox
Okay.
every Tuesday. And I don't know, I love it. I feel better every time I go there. I feel like I'm spreading some experience, strength, and hope when I get there. I've been there before. I've been in detox a couple of times in that exact detox, so I know kind of what they're going through. And for what do you consider service? Really anything. I was in a halfway house for a while, and I would drive these girls. I was the only one with the car out of 8 girls.
Really?
And so every meeting, I was taking them to meetings, their bikes, anything they needed. So I know, like, even that, before I could go into a detox or before I had enough time, I was trying to get people to meetings and, just help wherever I could.
So what does it mean to you when you go into a detox and to do service?
To try to help people and give them hope, because I was so miserable and hopeless for so long. And I remember being in detox and people would bring meetings in and I'd be like, I'm never going to have what these people have. Like, this is full of crap. Like, there's no way. They're not either as bad as me. They haven't gone through what I've gone through. I was really judgmental on everything, on myself, on everything. And so I think that if I can sit there and be like, hey, I know where you guys are and I know what you're feeling because I've been there. And I felt like that misery and that like hopelessness and that darkness. And like when you get out, there's a way out of it. And there's a way to be happy, like genuinely happy in life. So that's what I really try to do when I'm there.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That is absolutely beautiful. It's in fact before I came over here, I was just at First Step to do a meeting, and it was pretty good. The subject was powerlessness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was good. Who's next on favorite service?
Nancy.
See.
I drove quite a bit for service, and I like to tidy up. They have a vacuum at the new Gratitude Club. I like to. I totally admire your answer, Hannah. I think that was beautiful.
Thank you.
And now it's someone else's turn.
No, I'm moving it closer to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Nancy.
All right. What about you, Trish?
I love all the service that both of you talked about. Any of it is great service. Tidying up is very important as well. There's a lot of people, like when I first got sober in New York City, my first time, I had to clean ashtrays. And I was like, how is this going to help me? They were tin, they stunk, they were dirty. And I was a smoker, and I'm like, this is gross. But I had someone else helping me, and it was like we talked, and I just felt closer and closer to people. We set up, we made coffee. All that stuff was so important. And to clean up, I remember my home group was in a church that had the preschool. And so after our meeting, we put all the cots out for the children, the play area and then their little nap area. And I was like, just throw them out. Like the first couple, they're like, no, these are like, whatever, they kind of tell you, like, we got to do this right because we rent the space. And I was like, oh, and it gave me a lot of gratitude because I was a mess when I came in. I was like, you don't know me. You don't, like, just like you were saying, Hannah, like, you don't know my story. And anyway, so from there on, I learned all about, I've done a ton of different service, but today, one of my big service commitments that I love to do is just to reach out to the newcomer. Any new girl coming in, I'm like, how are you? Hi, I'm Trish. And that's my biggest thing, is try to be the light and the hope, that I can be when I don't have like a standard commitment, which I usually do have. And I haven't had one for a while, so I'm going to look into doing that again. But it means a lot. It keeps me sober. That's the paradox.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help someone else, and I'm like getting the benefit. And I'd wonder, like, sponsees would go out and I'd be like, oh man, my sponsee went out. My sponsor said, you stayed sober, didn't you though? Yeah, I sure did. And that's all we're here to do, is just to carry the message in any service way we can, because that's carrying the message, cleaning up and tidying up. It just is. It's humility at
Getting
its
out of
finest.
self. Yeah.
What did cleaning ashtrays teach you?
To move on from that one and get to make the coffee. To be willing to do anything for recovery, man. Yeah.
I heard there's a lot
I
of
can still smell
sobriety
them, by the way.
in the coffee making.
There's a lot of sobriety in cleaning ashtrays too.
Ashtrays and toilets.
Ashtrays and toilets.
No, it's funny because I'm just sitting here thinking, you guys do more than that, but they're not saying. Like Trish opens a meeting that, I don't know, she took over some meeting that people left or something, and she opens that every weekend. And then she helps, like, my early sobriety. Like, I was in between a million jobs, I got fired and I quit jobs. So I'm like, oh, back to Trish's. What kind of work does she have for me? Like, but she, she would be like, stuff I had no idea, like painting. She does construction and builds and stuff. And I would like paint walls, and me and another friend were sanding. We don't even know what we're doing. We're sanding the walls. We took a picture because I thought I was cool. I did manual labor for like a day. And Trish like
goggles on?
No, we didn't even know. We were like, no goggles.
Yeah.
We were just breathing the drywall. Drywall.
No mask.
She's like master of drywall.
You get paid more.
Yeah, but she would always. I'm like, I don't deserve that pay that you gave me. But that was her doing service to newcomers, like, and Nancy, always being nice, friendly to newcomers.
Yeah.
Even if no one's when no one's looking, I see her talking to people. Yeah. Always reaching out to people and helping, and just kind words. She spreads joy everywhere. Everyone's always like, oh my gosh, that Nancy.
That's so true.
Yeah. And Mark with this podcast, and he goes to detox, and he's always cheering, and Hannah is a new friend, but she's always friendly to everyone too. She's a little ray of sunshine. Like, my boyfriend saw her at a meeting, and that's what made me talk to her. He's like, oh, it's Hannah Banana.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, what's
I
it
didn't wanna say
okay from Jean? I was like, I'm in. Like, I'm good.
Oh, what, Hannah Banana?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh, he likes her. Okay, so she must be great.
Yeah.
What about you, Candace?
I do like sponsoring, but like Trish said, even though she lied and she said she's not doing a lot right now. But I guess we go like ebbs and flows. Like when I came in, I scrubbed toilets and cleaned our clubhouse. And I do like behind the scenes. I like cleaning and just looking where, is there coffee made? Do we need more? I'll make more. Do the trash cans need to be changed? Does someone need a seat? When they come into the meeting, I always feel like I hate that feeling of someone comes in and they're looking around like it's like high school and they have no one to sit by.
Well, like Forrest Gump, like seats taken.
Seats taken. Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah.
People holding seats. I'm like, you can't hold seats.
Yeah.
So I try to. Or I'll get up. Trish does that too. Nancy and Hannah would too. But sometimes we'll get up because I'm able-bodied. I can sit on a floor. I'll get up and move so someone can sit. Not always, but sometimes.
You do.
Yeah, little things. And then helping outside of sobriety too. So visiting a friend in the hospital or sending messages to people, texting or calling, and help being of service to people at my job. And that's about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's actually so much more that she does do. Take on sponsees, and your tolerance level is wonderful. Ones that I probably would be like, I don't know.
Has anybody ever been past the sponsee, like, take this one?
Trish takes but no. Who's listening to this? We can't.
No names.
No names. Trish will take anybody, and I'm like, shoot. Okay, well, I'm gonna get this one after her. Just kidding. That might be true.
Yeah. In the beginning I used to
That's
ask.
happened. That's okay.
Right.
They don't like me. I'm like, no,
Awkward.
do this, do that. They're like, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Well, different strokes for different folks, right? So
Yeah.
like tough love, soft love.
Right. As long as they stay sober, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
In the beginning, I made the mistake of asking, like, somebody like, I want you to sponsor me. I'd be like, what links are you willing to go to? And they'd be like, any links.
Yeah, no, that's a lie.
And so I quit asking that question. I'm like, all right, well, just, if you see, I have something that you want, then okay, let's do this, But, yeah, I asked that question too many times, and too many times I always got the any links answer.
Right.
And it was like, I found out where any links stopped.
Yeah.
You mean I gotta go to a meeting this weekend?
You mean I got to call you?
What? I gotta work. What are steps?
Hannah just went to. I don't know if you want to share that.
What?
Well, you did.
Oh, I
For
got
service
my
today.
first sponsee ever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so excited. Yeah, my sponsor told me I needed to start sponsoring, and I was like, I don't know. And then I prayed about it, and she told me to, and to ask my higher power to bring me a sponsee. And that same day, I got my first one.
Isn't it amazing what you
So-
be careful what you pray for?
And she's like me, 10 years ago, and has gone through everything. Like, I've gone through a lot of the things she's going through, so I know I can help her. Like, so I'm not so scared now because I know I've been there,
Yeah.
And I also know it's not me, right? Like, I don't have the power to
That's
do
awesome.
anything, so
Yeah.
just
That's good to
guide.
learn that now.
Yeah. Yeah, it took a hard one to learn that, but yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's
Are
good.
you sure?
Congratulations.
thank you.
So should we pick another topic out of the bag
Sure.
that Candace
Yes.
made here?
Trish, shake it up. Shake it up, girl.
I'm a shaker.
It's like
Shake it up.
it's like recovery bingo.
Yeah.
Oh, what? I'm drawing?
Shake
Yeah.
it up.
I thought you were drawing. I lost myself.
No.
You were
But you
drawing.
get to answer first.
Okay, wait. I got like.
Because you like my...
Hold on. Okay, so this one says, "What was your spiritual awakening like?"
Oh my gosh.
You go, Mark.
What, my spiritual
Yes.
awakening? Look, I had tons of spiritual experiences before then, but you know what? My spiritual awakening happened when I realized that the promises had come true in my life, but they didn't come true in the order I thought. Like, I thought the promises had to come true in order, right? And like 9th step promises had to happen before 10th step promises. And it's like, no, that's not the case, right? Like, when I realized that like the promises were coming true, I realized that I'd ceased fighting anything or everyone, including alcohol. And then I started to realize like no matter how far down the scale we've gone, we'll see how experience can benefit others. I didn't realize that until I started at working with a sponsee. I'm like, okay, all these things that I did on the way to pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization, they're helping somebody. You know, they can identify. I can identify with them. And then it's just like, we will know a new peace and, you know, new happiness. And it's like that's come true today. And it's like, but I realized it didn't happen in my time. It didn't happen the way that I thought it would happen.
Wow, yeah.
It happened when God said it was going to happen. You know, when I guess, you know, I was painstaking about this phase and continue to be painstaking, so they come true and they stay true in my life.
Awesome.
You know, and only I can screw that up. So that's that kind of mine. Like, it wasn't some big flash, like white light, take me to the fourth dimension, holy crap, because I'm like, listen, if I think I'm going to the fourth dimension, I'm probably floating on a pink cloud, and it's my will. You know, it's like, but I know I feel good today. Yeah, so there it is.
That's good.
That's really good.
I never heard it explained in that way. Yeah, that you don't get them in that order. But that's true. Or sometimes you're like, fear of people and economic insecurity leaves us, and then you're like, yeah, but it'll come back. And then it goes away again. No one, you didn't say that in the beginning, you guys. Like, it's coming back.
Somebody broke that down to me. They're like, if the fear of it comes back, then obviously there's some amends that I have to make.
What? No.
Yeah, or that I haven't made, right? Or that I've talked on. And it's true.
Oh, because it's the 9th step.
Yeah.
How do you know this much?
Listen, I only know just a little.
That's good. Oh, dang, I wish you hadn't said that in front of Trish.
Uh-oh, Trish has got that look in her eye.
Well, I did another, because your sponge. Oh, okay. We'll talk later.
I'm not a responsible.
All right, so spiritual awakening. Who's next? Nancy?
Yes, I kind of do have some of those bright light moments, and then almost at every meeting I have a spiritual experience of, oh, I am that alcoholic. That is me. I don't know. I guess I hear people say that built-in forgetter, and at first I didn't. What are you all talking about? How could you have? You know, how could you forget this stuff? It's only 12, you know. But I definitely have that, and so every meeting is a reminder of I am powerless over fill in the blank, my sponsor said, and then it becomes empowering. And when I feel empowered because I am turning my will and my life over to the care of God, a bright light comes on and I feel shiny, and I see a light in your eye, especially when you were talking about the promises. I was thinking that's a shiny moment, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, like, can I give you guys a 10th step story?
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Well, 10th step promises, right? So this ranch that I'm out building with my friend, I had to build him a giant back bar because he entertains, and so I'm putting up these old cabinets that have been painted, and I'm building this it's cool, it's reclaimed. I'll show you a picture of it, but we're on there, and I had him order like these light up shelves for underneath, like, you know, the bottle displays and everything like that. And I'm building this thing, finishing up. He's next to me arranging the bar, and I'm like, stop. And he's like, what? And I'm like, really? You're gonna put out half drunk, like, cheesy, cheap bottles for your guests? Like, put out the good stuff, man. Like arrange it really nice. Like, don't crowd it all up, right? And that's when I realized I'm neither fighting it, I'm not avoiding it. You know, I've ceased fighting everyone, and it was weird. That's when I realized that part of the 10 step promises has come true, because I could have cared less. I was just more into busting his balls over that.
That's cool.
And he's like, really? I was like, yeah, like, come on, you're gonna entertain out here.
Wow.
Like, what are you doing? Like, trust me, I'm an alcoholic. I know these things.
That's cool.
Like, don't put the lowbrow stuff up there where everybody can see, put that below.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, so that
You're
was...
safe.
And didn't want to drink after.
Yeah, and then
You're
after
protected.
that, I felt a new peace and a new happiness. Like,
Aw.
wow, that part of my life's behind me.
Yes.
But it could always come back.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
so.
sucks, but
Yeah,
it's true.
like
It's
not
not a
putting down.
spiritual condition.
Yeah, like when we recover our lives, it's like we can hang out, we can go anywhere we want. We don't have to avoid certain places, and we don't have to shame people that drink and be in their you know. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we can just be a part of life,
Yeah.
which is what I always wanted to
Yeah.
be, anyways.
Yeah.
This was the whole reason for drinking.
Yes.
I heard someone share at a meeting once that, like, for me too, he spent so long in his alcoholism hiding, right? Hiding from everyone and isolating. And now that he's sober, that would really stink to live this life, still hiding and avoiding to live, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, as long as we're in fit spiritual condition, you know, and I believe it goes a little bit further than that. Like you got to keep that, you know, build your life around the program. But it's when like we're not meant to shelter and isolate, because any scheme it says on like 101 of the Big Book, like any scheme to shield the alcoholic from temptation is doomed to failure.
And also, it asks you, like, what can you pack into the stream of life?
Yeah.
That's life everywhere. What can you pack into the AA meeting?
Limited, yeah.
All right.
Or a podcast?
Dang, y'all is smart. Y'all is so smart.
Tell them fake that. Don't worry.
My sponsor ordered things for me. God, program, everything else.
Yeah.
And that simplifies it. Again, how, my built-in forgetter. So when I'm in my will about anything, God, and you remind me that on occasion, and it frees me.
Yeah. So free.
Yeah.
And now I can be of use, which is my real purpose.
Right.
Page 77.
That's the real gift right there.
What about you, Hannah? What is spiritual awakening?
Well, it's funny that you said about, the bright lights, because I thought the same thing. The spiritual awakening was going to be like Moses with the Red Sea. Like, I thought there was going to be, like, doves flying. And really what happened, you want to know what really happened? I was in rehab, and I thought I was losing my mind. When I had my spiritual awakening, I thought I was losing it, because my whole thought process, my actions were changing from anything I've ever done. And I literally asked my therapist to Baker Act me, because I was like, something's going on with me, and I don't know what it is. And that's what it was. I kept trying. I had, like, surrendered.
Yes.
And that was for me, my spiritual awakening is when I fully surrendered, because I had been in recovery before, and I wasn't working the program, and I wasn't surrendering, and I picked and choose what I did. And I was like, I don't know why I can't get this. Like, I don't know why I like keep relapsing. Like, what is wrong with me? I know the book, I know the program, like, what is wrong with me? But it's like I was BSing my way through it, you know what I mean? Like, I was just picking the things I wanted to do when I wanted to do it, and I wasn't being honest. And so then I started really being honest, and I fully surrendered, and then I tried to kind of take my will back a little bit and lost my mind. And so yeah, it happened, and it was great, and it was really like all these things that I didn't want to do ended up like lining up for me and being in my best interest, because I like surrendered and gave it over. So
That's beautiful.
yeah. What, the Baker acting part or the spiritual part?
No, the Baker Act's not beautiful.
I was literally gonna Baker act myself.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Look, Baker acting
I'm just
is
kidding.
no bueno.
I'm just kidding.
Nothing
I was like,
wrong
what
with it.
is
What are you talking
Hey, I Baker acted I got Baker acted.
Yeah.
I Baker acted myself.
Like, I feel peace, I feel serenity, I feel happiness. What is this?
wrong
Like,
with
something
me?
must be wrong. Like, this is not
Put me
normal.
away.
Yeah, this is not normal. Someone please lock me up. So,
What about you, Trish?
That's awesome. I think this time around, because, I had 14 and a half years before, and I stopped making meetings and whatever, and I don't really even remember my spirit. I remember a spiritual awakening, knowing that God was really with me my first time around, and I knew He was going to have a sense of humor. But this time, mine was, I had 20 days sober, and usually they say after the steps, absolutely, and I, but mine came at 20 days sober, and my dad died.
Oh, wow.
And no, it's okay because I knew it. You know, he wasn't doing well. I mean, he had a hernia and COPD, and come to find out, he was living on 17% oxygen, which doesn't even support life. So, I take it. I'll get into that. Hold on. So anyway, he died, and he was like my rock. You know, like if he was my daddy, and you know, we're girls. I was a daddy's girl kind of thing, and so, I felt this presence of God come to me so strong that I was actually able, within a day, to thank God for his death. And it was like the first time I wasn't selfish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was such a selfish, self-centered, everything, you know, like we are. Everything about me, and I can't, you know, and in the past, especially, you know, in active alcoholism, it's all about me. Like, my dad died, I need a drink, you should buy me drinks. Like, you know,
Yeah.
that's what we do.
Yeah.
And I would have milked that for years.
Yeah.
And just being honest, I would have. Or whatever, decades. And I learned that it's not all about me. With 20 days sober, I was like, God, you are real, really helping me. Because I thought that I went back out, I threw it in his face. I threw that recovery in his face, and I knew the Lord, and I was like, he is just not going to have it with me. And I was like, no, he does love me, and I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
But I remember my dad saying before he died, he said he had never seen me get sober because I was in Pittsburgh where I grew up. I'd been in New York the first time, so he never saw the fight to get sober. This time, they were like, you can live with us. So I'm like, no, I'm going to go in a halfway house because I need structure and I don't trust myself.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm so proud of you, and if there's anything within my power I can do to help you, just tell us, you know, him and my stepmom. And I felt like at this time he could finally let go.
Yeah.
And he did. And I just didn't expect it to come that early, you know, it's 20 days sober. But I felt healed.
Yeah.
And the grief was okay, and the funeral was good. Girls from my sober house came, which
Wow.
I barely knew. My sponsor was there, who, you know, it was just, the awakening was so profound, slowly, but it was so that I just knew I was going to be okay.
Wow, that's beautiful.
It is.
That is. You know, when I was learning to process death and recovery, my sponsor laid out two simple things. He says, it's selfish of us to want somebody all to ourselves. Mm-hmm. And he says, if it was somebody that was suffering, instead of getting to pray for them, we get to pray to them.
Yeah. Oh.
And that's beautiful.
That's neat.
Yeah.
I will tell you that I found my fiance dead before I moved here.
Really?
Yeah, and but I knew on the way, I was praying, and I have my Christian music on, and I was like, God, please, I just know, I feel like you're telling me before I would get to his house, because he wasn't answering in the morning before a job. And I'm like, okay, God, just let me know you got me. And then a song would come on, it's like, I got you, you know, like, and I was like, okay, let's do one more.
The God shot, huh?
Yeah, you got me, you know, and another one came on that was like, you're in my hands, like, kind of thing, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna do this. And I just knew, and I got there and found him, and it was like, it was scary, and you go through the things.
Yeah.
But I was like, I never doubted that I was going to be okay because of that first with my dad. And eventually, that took a little longer. You know,
Yeah.
because I had a future, you know.
Yeah, you have to process.
You took my future, God.
Yeah.
And I yell at God. Like, I tell God, like, if I'm mad, I tell him because he's big enough. I'm mad. You took my, you know, but I love you because you're all I got. You know, like, that's it. And then that became like my second spiritual awakening that I got through, and everything was okay. And I came here and I spent a year and a half alone, just me and God, and found a man that I'm married to, that's just everything I could have ever wanted for myself, and never knew the other things that I actually needed.
We never know God's plan.
Never know.
Yeah, isn't that amazing when we try to figure it out, right? And it's like, is this it? How come it's not what I wanted?
My marriage
why
is
don't
a
you just
spiritual
tell us?
awakening.
Amen. Amen. My divorce was the
right.
same.
What about you, Candace? What?
I think it's a bunch of experiences. Like, even when I was still drinking before I came in, like I had gone to a meeting and then I didn't go back for like a month or something, and then I was like realizing how bad it's like you get your foot in AA and you're like, oh God, now I know too much. And then then stuff was happening at work and I'm just like, I was becoming unraveled. But it's like, these little bright light experiences were happening. Like, getting fired from my job for just the truth finally being revealed, the truth coming out. Like, oh my God, people know finally I have an issue and I couldn't hide it anymore. And another light was like doing the 5th step with my sponsor and then actually meaning it, like praying, saying all of my part of everything that I did out loud to her, me, her, and God. And I felt it. Like I knew I could feel God, like he was going to take away that obsession to drink, and I almost didn't do it. I felt like I was standing on the edge of a pool and I was ready to jump, and I knew it would be gone, and I almost didn't do it because it was so tied into my identity, being, a drunk and a bar hopper and whatever. And and my sponsor's like, and you did it anyways. You were afraid and you did it anyways. And there was so many tears, but I felt like I was going insane right before that too. Mm-hmm. I guess that's like, it's like you're recalibrating your brain. It's like, can't compute. And then, something's going on. I told her, I'm like, I need to go to a hospital or do this 5th step. Like, something's going on.
And I start switching smoke out of the ears. Like.
But it makes the God program, the bedevilments, the cunning, baffling, powerful disease would be talking to in that moment. Don't jump, Candace.
Yeah, like life will be boring if you do this.
Yeah.
There's no going back. It's like, you gotta drink the Kool-Aid. Just jump in. You can get out. We're not gonna force you.
Just jump in.
We're not gonna force you to stay here. Just jump. Get all in.
Isn't that wild? Like the denial, like the resistance to fight, but that's what we do. And that's the cunning part of the disease is the one that is the one in my ear, like, no, don't make amends. What are you gonna apologize?
Oh my gosh. Still, I'm like, I already did that in year 1. I don't want to do this again. Forever. But forever.
It's just for today.
Yeah, thank you. That's right. I can only deal with today. Thank God for that reminder.
All right, so somebody draw the next one. So me and Hannah have drawn. Who's next? These are good, Candace, by the way. Good job. What do you got, Nancy? No, it's all you.
What makes you angry?
Ooh.
How do you deal with now? It's not really clear.
Now versus drunk.
How do you deal with your
now
anger?
versus
Like Mr. Rogers, what do you do with the mad? Is that what you mean?
Shame on you if you don't know
What makes me
Mr.
angry?
I get angry
When at institutions, and that's silly, I think. I don't think that's a program at all.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is to
In
get
the 5th
angry.
step, the 4th step.
But I mean, to keep doing it, I still get angry about institutions. I still get resentments. Same people that are in my 4th step. Here it comes around again. Kick me. And I deal with it by remembering God, program, everything else, because he just relieves me of that resentment. These little things that we get in the meetings have helped me tremendously. Even when I didn't know I was a real alcoholic, I didn't believe it, I wasn't honest with you all until about a year ago, until about 6 months ago actually into this recovery. I was still lying. But I relapsed using my mother's death. We were talking about that as an excuse, but that it was coming for years, 2 years at least, all these resentments. And I remember hearing resentments. I actually heard this on a radio program. It wasn't even at a meeting, but a caller called up and said, in our program, we say resentments are like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. And I understand those visual pictures pretty well. So I was like, that's what I'm doing. And I truly was dying. I had to see a doctor. I had to be medicated. I had to go to meetings. I had to get healed. And I didn't know I was sick. I thought everybody else had a drinking problem. Boy, are they a bunch of sick. I'm so healthy and they're so sick. But I was literally dying and I was not being of maximum service. I wasn't fitting myself. And so very, very grateful to be an alcoholic in recovery. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
That is. Who's next on that one?
Candace.
You got all
I have to do
Joel.
with the mad, Candace.
I'm still, I was just thinking, I was afraid of Trish talking to me later about stuff. No. No. But God is so, the God of my understanding is so gracious and forgiving that I always think I'm going to have to do like so much more than I need to. And it's like, so when I have to do it, it's like, oh my God, that was nothing. Like, what was I all afraid about? But angry versus sober versus drunk. I would have resentments before I got sober and just think I had no self-awareness. I thought I had every right to be angry at you and judge you. Mm-hmm. And if bad things happened to me, that wasn't my fault. It was society and I didn't even think God was, well, no, I did think he was punishing me sometimes. Mm-hmm. And just a mess, just no self-awareness versus sober accountability and how do I deal with anger, right, get it out, sometimes put it in my God box, like it's just the physical act of, all right, I'm putting this up. I'm not going to think about and ruminate over this over and over and over. I'm just going to put this in there, and I'm going to trust that you see this. Did you see me write it? Yeah. Okay. All right. Now you got it. and praying
That's
about
helpful.
it and talking to friends about it. Anger. Sometimes, honestly, still just going off. Just not great with the anger. So, hence the 7 jobs in 3 years. But to be honest.
Well, at least you're honest about it.
Thanks for the nice.
Yeah. Just when I'm unwilling, is like, all right, you can sit in your own crap pile for however long I'm going to deal with this. But yeah, it's all good. It's good. Just progress. Just progress one day at a time. Just do better today than yesterday. That's it.
There you go.
That's all.
That's the point.
Beautiful.
Even if you mess up everything, if I didn't drink today, I can just tomorrow get back on the beam. We know you could mess up absolutely everything today, and tomorrow could be glorious because you got a chance. You're in your right sane mind, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the waves, the peaks, the valleys. Yeah. Yes. All right. So we got Trish and Hannah over here. Who's next?
I'll go.
All right.
So what made me angry for the longest time was God and myself, for sure. We were talking about Forrest Gump earlier. I used to think I was like Lieutenant Dan on the top of the boat. Like, it's me and you. Like, you're doing this to me again. Like, let's go, you know? And I had some serious beef with God. No, I've got magic legs now, guys, so I'm okay. I've got my magic legs.
Got magic legs.
Yeah, no, I used to have some serious beef with God for a long time. Yeah, it started to get serious after that. But no, I had some serious beef with God for a long time. I felt like the same thing, like I was being punished, and then it would make me angry at myself that I was not living up to, not doing, et cetera, that I put on myself. And I still get angry. Like, I expect
Like
my
to honk the horn.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Honk the horn at people.
Traffic.
Oh no, I honked a horn once. This guy cut me off in a Rolls Royce, so he thinks he can. And he cut me off when I was traveling for about 15 minutes behind him, and I honked my horn the entire 15 minutes. I never let up.
How'd that
And
work out for you?
well, let's see. Now I don't have a working car horn on my vehicle I have now. Swear. So that was God for sure being like, you don't need a car horn anymore. So stop that. But I really followed him for 15 minutes and honked my horn straight. But yeah. But back to my magic legs. So no, I have anger still in myself. I think because I set a lot of expectations still on myself, and I want to do. We're alcoholics. We want it now. We want to feel better now. We want everything back. And I know like that's going to take time. And I think I just get mad at myself when I don't. Even if it's like my connection with God, if I don't feel it that day, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like what am I not doing that I'm supposed to be doing? Or if I am doing service, am I not doing enough? I just like these expectations are ridiculous. So it's really just like letting them go, not having those expectations, giving it over, praying, talking to someone else. Like when we were talking about service, Candace, she sends me the funniest stuff, and her and I go back and forth. And since the second I met her, it's just been like an instant thing, and it's just like getting out of myself completely, because when I'm in myself and in my will and in my head or my expectations on myself or others, I don't even know if it's so much anger. It's just like let down, defeated, low,
Yeah.
And now I don't feel that as much, which is really nice. I definitely don't. That's why I say the magic legs. I don't have the beef with God anymore. I'm swimming in the ocean in the clear skies. Most of the time. Most of the time. Sometimes I'm back to Lieutenant Dan in his wheelchair falling over in New York on the ice. But yeah, exactly. But for the most part, guys, I have some magic legs happening, and it's forgiveness, though, right? It's forgiveness of myself and with God. So that's what I got.
That same radio program said expectations for alcoholics are premeditated resentments.
Ooh,
100%.
Oh my God, I just realized that Forrest Gump is the program of recovery,
Yes,
right?
it is.
Forrest Gump is acceptance.
Yeah.
You never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, Lieutenant Dan is the alcoholic.
He turns it over.
We're
Yeah.
like men
He
who've never lost their
surrenders.
legs, they never grow new ones. Right?
And act as if, you are. That's beautiful. I definitely
And
want
life
to
is
watch
like
it
a
again
box
after
of
you.
chocolates.
It is, right? That's acceptance.
Meeting is like a box of chocolates.
Yeah, it's such a.
And Forrest is like the
Ew, I got the
ultimate
orange cream.
alcoholic that you want to be, right? He like loves everyone and sees the good in everyone and is forgiving.
Guru.
He's forgiving. He's not resentful. He doesn't
No
hold things
judgment.
against Jenny. All those things she does, like he just like loves and like wants better for people.
Oh man, we gotta watch
Yeah.
that.
He's like the sober 45-year guy.
Yeah.
It's
Not the cranky one.
it's profound to me that you relate to yourself to Lieutenant Dan in that way. That's very
Yeah.
self-aware and profound.
Well, I used to yell at God a lot, and I shared that early on when I first went to meetings, and this guy said to me, all he shared, he's like, I know we're not supposed to crosstalk, but I love when people say that they would yell at God or they were angry at God, because you think that there's not a relationship there, or like I felt I didn't have that. They're like, but you wouldn't yell at someone that you
Right.
don't have a relationship with, that you don't care about, that you don't trust, and that has hurt you, right? If you're angry at him, then you feel like he's harmed you in some way, or you're feeling let down. So like even if you didn't feel that connection, or you didn't have that spirituality with him during that time, you still had that faith, right?
Wow.
That was there. Yeah.
And Lieutenant Dan's spiritual awakening was
Yeah.
jumping into the water.
100%.
Yeah, like
And swimming the next day.
Jump
Yeah.
in.
He had to go through it though. He had to go through the storm to get to those clear skies, So,
That actor has turned
Yeah.
that character around to be of full service to the wounded warriors. I'm not sure if that is exactly his
He does a lot for
commitment,
vets.
but he
That's
has a
amazing.
service commitment to veterans,
Yeah.
especially, I believe, wounded veterans. And he got it from his role and his profound experience.
which is God right there, right? Like
Amen.
working
Amen.
through him.
Yep.
He did a lot
Yeah.
of service,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Trish, you're on deck. She's like, don't make me pick up the microphone.
What makes you mad?
Well, me.
Yeah.
How I dealt with anger, drunk and sober. Drunk, I just was a fighter. I either fought or cried. So if I wasn't crying, I was fighting men. So I mean,
And Trish is this tiny, cute little thing too. that you
Yeah,
guys see
real
her,
cute.
so fighting men is a good image to have.
I had a really crazy, violent stepfather, so I think it stemmed from that. If I drank, I was going after men, and most of them just didn't fight me, but some, one I know of. I don't know, in a blackout, I woke up with bruises, but yeah, he would like, stay down. I'm like, I'm from the rocks. Which is in Pittsburgh, and this was in Chicago, and I wouldn't stay down. I got beat up, but I don't deal well with anger when I'm drinking, because it just comes out in rage. You know, I'm rageful. I just like to fight. I love it. I'll argue with you. I have a mouth, like from the ghetto. Cops especially, man. I'm like, you pay, you know, it's bad. No, I
Yeah.
mean, but that's the truth. If you see the videos today with the crazy girl, I'm like, I can't even judge them. I'm like, that's me. They gotta like hog tie you and put you in the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that been tasered twice, like in
Ouch.
one. They're just like tase me. I'm like, oh. On the street, they're like taser again. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that all you got?
Yeah. Oh, I've never. Yeah, I mean, I'm blessed that I never got assault on a Leo or anything like that. I don't have felonies for the stuff I've done. Like crazy. Yeah, I mean, I've accused them of raping me. Like, in the back of a police car. I'm by myself. You're raping me back here. They're like, what?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm saying, and that's stuff I can barely remember. Like,
Yeah.
God knows if I was in a blackout. So, I mean, that's just today.
Flip the coin today.
Today is not your day. No,
Oh my.
I'm just kidding. So today, it's like thank God for this program, because that girl that came in and was still talking go to got to work some steps and become a lady who walks with grace and dignity. I do swear once in a while, but that's construction's fault. Take grace and dignity with construction in her voice. But you know, like the beautiful part is that I had in Pittsburgh, my early recovery this time was with a lot of women with tons of time that worked a great program. And my first recovery was all the old timers in New York City, the men too, like sit up front. It was hardcore. So I learned AA etiquette. I don't know where it went for the 5.5 years I was back out there. I was just, but coming back in, working the steps again, going deeper, you know, and the resentments. I do inventories probably every 6 months because I'm scared of anger.
Yeah.
That's my biggest thing that I'm afraid of, is because when I get angry, it does become other people are the problem. And even if I'm like, okay, but my part, because I'm used to it now. Well, so what's my part? That's where I go immediately now. And then I'm afraid that I'll be turning on myself, and I can get depressed really easy. I need to stop doing this. I need to start doing that more, like Hannah was talking. And that's where I can fall in. Or it could go the other way, where I stop looking at myself and I'm back blaming others, like I said earlier, just a little bit ago. And it's like, now I'm not working any kind of program, and I don't want to go to meetings because I don't want to hear the solution. And that's what happened the first time. You know,
Yeah.
stop making meetings because I'm angry at God, number one. And then I'm angry because, you know, I got a divorce because God, you know, not my
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, and then I don't want to hear it from people because they're all talking about God and what did he, you know, blah, blah, blah. So that's all.
That was good. That was good. All right.
Someone suggested I read page 86 to the end of the chapter every evening, and that helped me because I was being too hard on myself after blaming others didn't work. So
Good. That's real good.
Yeah, 86 is amazing. Well, you're Judge Nancy, right? You got
Oh,
the
yes.
gavel. Yeah.
yeah, I I was so good at judgment. I wanted to become a judge,
Oh,
but now I
you make a better nurse.
I try not. I really try not to judge. It
So
still comes
lovely.
up. It comes up every day, but I kind of let it go every day. And it's kind of cool. I actually had that expression in my head today when I was at work. I was like, "Is that all you got?" Like that happened to me. I was like, "I got," because it's a lot where I work, and
Oh, God.
yeah. So it's wonderful. One day at a time. I love you all so much.
Oh, I love you, Nancy.
Aw, little kumbaya moment as we're sitting
Amen.
crisscross applesauce here. Yeah. You
We're
know,
all hugging.
you brought up anger, and like that is my thing. Like that was my number one defective character, and I say is because I've had to really work on it. Like after I did the 7th step prayer with my sponsor, I got up, I was like, how come I'm not floating? How come I'm not like feeling like and that wasn't the case. Like okay, I'm inviting God into my life to work on that, and I thought it was just going to magically be taken away. Why am I still getting mad? And so like anger for me, like it's I used to, when I was drinking, I'd be quick to snap off if something wasn't going my way, and I noticed that I was that way in recovery too. Like this isn't going my way, this isn't the way that I want it to go, and I realized, how can I get what God's given me if my hands are full?
Yep.
Right? If I don't see God in this because I'm too busy playing God, how does this serve me? It doesn't. And I've noticed like anger, after I have a fit of anger, I don't feel the same. I don't feel as connected. I don't like that feeling. So that is what forced me to work on it in recovery. And now I've just kind of gone with the fact, like, okay, that page about expectations. Have you ever lowered your expectations so low that when anything happens, you're like, I expected. It's like I knew that was coming. And so I worked on my expectations, and through lowering my expectations, my peace and my serenity went up. And as soon as like just to where there's zero expectations in anything, it's just been peace. But it doesn't say if, it says when those things crop up.
That's right.
And it's like we're human, right? We're not we're not immune to this thing, but the more I work on it, the more I put into it, the more I get out of it. And I'm dealing with a sponsee right now that anger, like that's the thing. I'm like, I know well about that. And it's how's that serving you? And the answer is always the same. It's not. And it's like, I know that feeling. It's not. But then it's like there's the denial, right? Denial about the problem, denial about the solution, and only I can get myself angry.
And there's power in it. You know, when I'm not feeling so good, sometimes that power, I remember this. I mean, it feels so good I can be, because I'm judgy too. I just learned to backtrack it. My first thought is usually always wrong. I'm judging and I'm like, what about you, Trish? So it helps to look at myself when I'm judging, and I'm like, I can't judge them because I want to judge the girls on those TikToks, getting in trouble with the police, and I'm like, you can't judge them. But there's power in that. Anger gives a lot of power. Even what do they say? Gossip barbed with anger is a polite form of character assassination, a polite form of murder, right? Or murder by character assassination.
Well done.
Thank you, something like that. That's correct.
You said those words to me at a meeting. I came out angry from a meeting because they didn't.
I would never want to anger you.
I judged it not run correctly.
I might have said it wrong.
It didn't
No,
go my
I
way.
judged the meeting. I came out angry in early first round with my sponsor. And I was like, Trish, I'm so angry. And you just looked at me and said, I learned to stop playing God. And then, hi, I was like, took my breath away. I was still a little angry, but I was like, that's the solution.
You ever see somebody in the program that like my sponsor, what drew me to him is that I looked at this guy and I was like, what's he doing? Because I saw him so unshakable, like nothing in the rooms, nothing outside of the rooms would shake him. And I'm like, what is he doing? And he's living this. He's not just reading it, he's living it through practice and practice and living it. And I'm like, what's he doing? And it turns out that's what he's doing.
Right.
And so it's like, I want that.
Yeah.
Like you see that. Like,
That's what
how do you get
it
to
looks
there?
like on you now.
Yeah.
It looks good on you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your
Thank you.
sponsor looks good on you.
Oh, it does.
But the thing is, I realize it's like it's hard because it takes practice.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
I got mad that time. All right, take some inventory. What'd I do? That was my part.
Willing to grow.
I think we're really too hard on ourselves when we are like, we mess up a little here and there, and we're just doing the best we can, not drinking one day at a time.
Yeah. And then if we extend ourselves that grace, then finally I'm like, oh, finally I can't be nice to you because I'm not even being nice to me.
Right.
So if I can just remember to forgive myself. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got two more subjects in the bag. We got more, but we can. Somebody draw it. Trish, you're
Okay, okay, I'll do it.
What do you got?
All right, here's what I got. No glasses.
No whammy.
No win. What made or makes you stay in AA?
Ooh.
The coffee.
Amen.
Cookies.
Is that a 2023 Folgers?
Is that Maxwell House? That is good to the last drop, I'm telling you. That is some good coffee.
All right, you said coffee. Before we kick it off, AA coffee is my favorite, right? It reminds me that I'm an alcoholic every time I drink it, right? I drink it because I'm thirsty. One's never enough. The more I drink, the thirstier I get. And I notice, like, I like to let it cool off, and like when it, like that last little bit, and then like a coffee sommelier, and just
What do they call that in the beer? What's that called?
The fatty backwash.
The backwash. It's like such an alcoholic.
I went over to the other close one time and spoke at a meeting over there, and that's what I talked about. Was like, hey, coffee really reminds me that I'm an alcoholic.
Especially the backwash. Someone put their cigarette out the coffee. I'm like, I'm drinking that.
Oh, I'm too sober for that.
I don't know.
All right, so
So I think why I stay is so I don't drink, because I learned my lesson hard. I got away from AA.
Yeah.
Went back out. Didn't think I ever would. Never thought I would drink again. And I didn't. I broke my leg. Took some pills for it because I hate pills. I'll be fine. But I'm not drinking. Started eating 30 of them. I'm not drinking because I'm an alcoholic. Smoked some crack, but I'm not drinking. You don't get it. I'm an alcoholic.
the crutches.
Yeah. Smoking some weed, but I ain't drinking. See, if I'm an alcoholic. You don't want to see me drink. Smoking my crack. Finally, I picked up a drink and quit everything else. Saved a lot of money. I get free drinks. I'm a girl. And then I'm in morning, noon, and night at the old man bars. Like, I'll drink whatever you're drink. I'll do a shot whatever you do. Yukon Jack, and then I go puke in the bathroom. Come back. Let's do another one.
No.
Like they don't know I'm puking in the bathroom the first drink in the 7 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they don't know. They're doing the same thing. Except they're smarter than me. They're like, they don't actually puke it up. They get it all in their mouth and then they swallow it again. I didn't know people did that. Yeah, they don't want to waste the alcohol. It's like, I was dumb. Mine went,
Yeah,
mine went in the
savage alcohol,
toilet. I
it's there.
wasted it. Yeah, I had no idea that was a thing. So, if I stay and just keep going to meetings, that alone, I think, is where I'm going to get the knowledge that I need to keep working steps. I'm going to keep calling my sponsor. It just keeps reminding me I have a built-in forgetter. That's what the big book tells me. I do the Thursday meeting at our lunch bunch, which is the big book meeting. I sign up for that every Thursday because we're doing a study, and it's like, I want to know more and more about the big book, the ins and outs. I was told to make step and big book meetings because that's the crux. That's where it's all at. You know what I mean? And the more I can keep hearing, it's not like the more I'm learning. I do learn, but the more I keep hearing, I'm going to stay. You know what I mean? Even the days I don't want to be there, I learned to say before every meeting a long time ago, God, let me hear your message, because there was a speaker that was boring, and I'm like, I don't want to be here. They suck, you know, because I know better, right? At 3 months sober, right? I'm like, they suck. I'm bored off my, you know. my old first sponsor's like, just say, God, let me hear your message.
That's
Give that
so
a
cool.
shot. And I got so much out of that boring speaker. It was incredible. So I do that every meeting. And so I get whatever I need for that day. And man, let me tell you, I've started off some boring meetings and been like, oh, God, let me hear your message.
God, let me hear your message. That's beautiful.
That's gorgeous. That is amazing. All right, Hannah, you're next.
Well, the words that popped in my head when you read that were what made me stay in AA is happy, joyous, and free.
Yeah.
Because I was never any of those things. And it's funny, I was in the other fellowship my first time in recovery, and I always didn't like AA. I always was like, this is weird, but it's because everyone's happy, joyous, and free. So it was different for me, and I think I was scared. It was fear, that I would never get there and I would never have that. And I am today, which is amazing and is a miracle, and it's definitely due to God and due to AA. My sponsor told me that first comes freedom, then happiness, then joy, and that happiness is for a reason. For a reason, joy is happiness for no reason. And I feel that all the time. I'm joyous for no reason at all. I mean, there is a reason, right? I have a higher power. I have this program. I have connection to others. I'm not alone. I'm not hiding. I'm not scared anymore. I'm healing. I'm loving myself. There's so many things to be free and happy and joyous over. And so that's what keeps me coming, is that I've gotten that, and I want to keep that, because my life before that was just painful and miserable, and I don't have to live like that anymore, and it's amazing. So.
All right, Nancy, you're howling at the moon. You're next.
I had to howl at that beautiful message.
Thanks, Nancy.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
I stayed to hear that, and I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy.
Oh,
It's beautiful, Nancy.
I love when you howl.
All right, Candace, you're on deck.
Yeah, it's just I'll be short too. It's just the people. That's what made it stick in the beginning. Is I was lonely and I was afraid, and that's what makes me stay too. Is the community, the friendships. I have so many people in my life. I have I just was leaving the hospital today, visited Curly, but I said thank you God for my family, because I was up there and my other friend was there, and she's like, you didn't even visit your grandma in the hospital. I said, that's because she was a dry But I don't know. It's we get a do-over. We get a new it is a family, and friends, and that's all I ever wanted. And I wanted fun, and the fear brought me in, and that made me stay. And the fear of I don't want to go back to what it was like before. That is what keeps me in. That's all. That's all I got.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful, Candace.
Beautiful. All right. When I first started coming, it was old school sponsor stories, because I was like, they were that hardcore. And especially I knew this one guy, and he kept saying I used my last quarter to call my sponsor, and I was going through it. My pants were on fire, and I called him, and he said, shut up. Did you help anyone today? And he goes, no. And he's like, did you pray? No? Do that. And the other one was AA nicknames. I'm like, how did you get that name? And now it's just peace.
I call you Music Mark. I make up my own nicknames. I don't know that these people know that they have them. Trish is Go God Trish, and Hannah Banana, and Judge Nancy. I'm crying candy.
Princess Candace.
No princess.
She's a little princess.
All right, Candace, you're up to draw the next subject.
Oh, wow. Don't quit before the miracle happens.
I was gonna say that when you said it was a miracle because
Go,
that
Nancy,
guy,
go, Nancy.
sorry, but that
Go.
guy who
Ladies
used
and
to
gentlemen.
come to the meetings and say that, and he was an old timer with some, and he would just hint at the horror hell of his drinking days, and
Yeah.
he would say, like, I was gonna put a gun in my mouth.
Ooh.
He would every meeting, like every share, he would say that. But then I stayed, and he would say something from this page, and now I learned and I recite the prayer of Saint Francis, which is to be of service, our real purpose. And he would say to the newcomer, "Don't quit before the miracle." And read it again, Candace. What did it say?
Don't quit before the miracle happens. That's that teacher coming out. She was a teacher. You can feel it.
All right, yeah, carry on. So, what do you think about that, Candace? Is it odd or is it God?
You got me saying that now, by the way. No, Trish is back.
Trish took an intermission. Don't quit before the miracle happens, Trish.
Is that what the topic is?
Yes.
Just don't quit before the miracle happens?
What do you
Yes.
think about that? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys go?
Yes.
Everybody went?
Go.
Yes, we've all gone.
Everyone talked.
Go God.
Trish. Go God, Trish.
So I don't really. I mean, I didn't get to hear you guys. So I was told that a long time ago in the '90s, and I'm glad I didn't. Did you guys share about people? So I've heard in meetings they're like, the one went to the bathroom and he's like, man. And when he came back, his sponsor said, "You missed it." And he's like, "What?" "The miracle happened." I heard that. I was like, man, that's messed up. It's brand new.
Wait till Trish hears the podcast. It's just like, oh, I shouldn't have gone.
Did you guys already share that? Oh.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
You missed it.
I missed it.
Yeah, but that was cool.
But, and the other thing too is like whatever, I didn't know this. I was like, you gotta want it for you. You gotta come because you want to come. And my sponsor's like, you can come for a guy. If you like a guy and you keep coming back, just keep coming.
Yeah.
I was like, true. Can I tell my sponsees that? She's like, I don't see why not. If that's what it takes for him. But if someone's coming, like we were talking before, like if someone's coming for their kids and they stay for them, it'll work. It works. It doesn't work if you're, like it says in the big book, if you're just there to blah, blah, blah. So the miracle is when you realize you're doing it for yourself, for me, and that I really want this. Cool. And if I were to quit because I was like, this ain't working, because I thought many times, this ain't working, this ain't gonna work for me, those steps, don't you know I'm a straight A student, a physics major, and, I live on the streets. I live on the streets, but don't you know? Oh, King Baby Syndrome, boy, and I'm better than all these wordy things. I just don't logically see how they're going to work. I mean, it's crazy, right? And I'm unique, and they may work for you, but they're not going to work for me, kind of thing. And so, if I hadn't given myself a break, and I did it out of spite, because I'm going to show you I'll work them, and they're not going to work. And they did. Like, don't quit till the miracle happens. It's such a good statement.
Cool.
I just love it.
Hannah?
Well, when I first started coming in, the first miracle was that I didn't have to drink. Like, that thought of never drinking again for the rest of my life was so overwhelming that, I didn't think that I could do it. And I remember I was probably like 2 weeks in, and I was so still like crawling out of my skin, uncomfortable. And I went to this meeting and there was like 4 people, including myself, which really was terrible because I did not want to talk. And I'm sitting across from this girl and I'm like still shaking and like just uncomfortable. And she's sitting perfectly still. And I remember thinking like, I want whatever she has. And so at the end of the meeting, she picked up her 30-day chip. And I was like, 30 days, that's it? It's only going to take, and I'm like 2 weeks in. Like, I just have to get to 30 days.
Yeah.
And I can be sitting still, comfortable in my skin, in my seat, which thank God it was 30 days. Because if she would have picked up like years, I would have been like, no, never going to happen. Never going to happen. So I just think there's so many miracles that happen there. Like, that's the first one, right? That then you that obsession does go away. And like that, I never thought would ever go away. But it's do the work, because the same thing that you were saying my first time in recovery, I wasn't doing the steps. I wasn't working it, and I never thought it would work for me. But it's because I also wasn't doing the work, you know?
There you
like
go.
I thought I could do it the way I wanted to do it. And but when you work the steps, when you surrender, when you help others, like there's a change, and it happens, and it's a miracle. And every day is a miracle that we're not drinking and we're not miserable human beings anymore, or terrible people, you know? Because I was miserable, and now I'm not, and it's a miracle in its own. And doing that without a substance, being happy and like, and being around people and being able to like do anything in life without having to put something in my body to live and not like want to die, honestly.
That's
is
amazing.
That's a
amazing.
miracle.
Because I used to watch people outside of Walmart like walking in happy, and I would literally be like, who the heck walks into Walmart happy? Like I'll never be one of those people that are happy.
Maybe they
like,
were
just
going to people
walking
watch.
into work. Maybe they were. You know, yeah. And then now look at me. I'm like skipping into Walmart, like singing a tune. And what is happening to me, guys? I don't know.
God's got
I don't know.
jokes.
Yeah, but there's many miracles, but definitely stay.
You said something very profound in that, and I can relate to that. Like that person that picks up, like if I have less than 30 days, that person that picks up the 30 days, that's attainable. The person that picks up the 60 days, if I don't have 60, that's attainable. Like those chips are so, like they say it's, to show the newcomer what works, you work it. And as a newcomer, like somebody getting 10, 15 years, I was like, I don't
It was
see
too
how that's
hard to comprehend to me.
Like, it's like that's up here, but
Yeah.
how did you get that in 9 months?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Yeah, when she picked up that 30 days, and I was sitting directly across from her on this little round table, and I was just shaking and moving, and she was sitting still with her legs crossed. And I remember thinking that before I even knew she was picking up a chip. Like, I want that. I want to be able to sit still in my skin and be okay in my body and in my with myself. And when she picked up 30 days and I was only 2 weeks in, I was like, okay, I can get 2 more weeks. Like, I can get 2 more weeks. Like, that was it. Just that little goal. Get 2 more weeks. Get 1 more day, right? 1 day at a time. Just get there. And then it,
Did the thought ever
builds.
cross your mind, like, how does it feel at 30 days? Like, what does that feel like?
Yeah,
I wonder
look
how
at
it
this
feels at
girl.
60.
You can see.
Yeah. So.
What about you, Candace?
Miracle. The miracle. Yeah, there's so many miracles. I'm like, do we give it away, the secret? And I think it's
Super
just
It's a
secret?
pill.
Yeah.
the miracle. There's miracles. And one of them was when I first got sober, I was like obsessed with, what is this? Why do they keep saying that? And now I know, well, I was a newcomer in the room, so they were probably like telling me, I was probably complaining, and they were probably like, don't quit before the miracle. You don't realize until you're later on, like, and the more I get sober, the more I look back. I don't realize the miracles until after they've happened.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my gosh, that's different. And that miracle, the first one is not drinking. And then I came in to save a marriage and I lost it. But then I remember sharing, I'm here for me now. And I didn't even see it. And Mike, one of the guys in my home group was like, oh, you're staying here for you said. He's like, that's huge. And I'm like, yeah, anyways. And like, I didn't realize until like months or something later, I'm like, oh my God, I am here for me. And it's still happening. I'm like, I don't even know what the miracles are going on right now, but like, I think we gotta slow down sometimes and be like, oh my God, where was I? What was I doing like a year ago? Like, this is a miracle. It's Friday night and I have 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Four sober people.
I was thinking the same
Can
thing
count.
when I came in here and you guys were laughing and talking. I was like, how awesome is this?
For real.
That it's a Friday night and like we're all enjoying being here and being present
Yeah.
sober.
No one's even
Like,
jonesing for a drink.
No,
like,
it's amazing. That charcuterie board I was.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm good on this.
Did you guys have charcuterie before?
Oh, yeah.
Charcuterie.
Just wait. It's done. It's over there.
And energy drinks. But
Yeah.
we didn't drink them. Just Nancy.
So before we end this, I want to toss out a subject that's not in the bag.
Okay.
I figured we could have fun with it.
Yeah.
Biggest ego deflating moment
Oh.
in recovery.
Ooh.
Biggest ego deflating moment, like the one where you just felt it go.
You really want to know mine? Mine's
Yeah.
really
You go.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I was in rehab and I thought I was like doing everything right and I was sober, but I was still completely acting out on my character defects and like keeping my will happening. And I ended up getting kicked out of rehab for, let's say, fraternizing. The opposite sex. Yes. Okay, straight up had sex with someone and got busted, okay? I get kicked out, violate probation, go back to jail, and my mother and my brother and everyone else in the world has to read on my PCA that I, did that. So that was like a really, like, I thought I had it and I was pretty good at that time. And then it was like, no, Hannah, you're really not. You're really not. My mother had to call my attorney and be like, is she going to go to prison for having sex? And I'm like in that moment wished I would have relapsed because I feel like everybody would have been a little more understanding of like, oh, she's an alcoholic, she relapsed. Instead it was like, no, she's just a whore and she has sex. So that was a big ego deflator for me.
Oh, listen, if you're listening to this and you're going back to rehab and you haven't had a rehab romance, that's a
Don't
yes.
do it. Don't do it. Okay.
Don't. You heard what can happen.
Yeah, you'll end up back in beautiful polyester orange suits, and your mother will be reading about it online. Okay, so that was my ego deflating moment, guys. After that, I was really humble. So
Thank you for sharing.
yeah, you're welcome.
All right, who's next on this one?
Oh,
Nancy.
I go. You just put.
Judge Nancy.
Yes, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. But you planted the seed that sex is ego deflating and
Yeah.
all the time. Not every time, but that's just it. It's like that didn't work out the way I hoped it would. And so there, sex is ego deflating. I didn't even have an answer until you said it. And I would go to jail though. I haven't been arrested yet. I would go to jail for sex.
doing some pretty similar here.
Let's hear it.
Honestly.
Details.
Yeah,
It's not juicy.
it's that all
Details
black
matter.
outfit she's got on, riding
Go
that bike.
Oh, there's been some. I like how she did that in a roundabout way, so I'm going to copy that because super ego deflating. Because I like to think that I'm like,
Yeah, so super ego. Go ahead, Candace.
yeah, like oh, people don't know about me in AA. They think I'm just so put together and all that. But at 9 months, I slept with 2 guys in AA, and both relapsed. They were newcomers, and they were younger than me. And yeah, I was 13th stepping, and I just got divorced. And yeah, and one of them, I hope she doesn't hear this. One of them, I ended up. Well, they weren't together at the time, but one of them, I ended up sponsoring. This guy that I slept with, I ended up I sponsored his now girlfriend. That's awkward, and that's so awkward. But she's so cool. She's like, yeah, whatever, because she wasn't with them. But the awkward part was he had a girlfriend when I was sleeping with him, and I didn't know it. I honestly didn't know it, and I still see this girl in meeting, and she will not even look at me. And I went to like this dinner. This AA dinner, and she was serving, and she looked right past me. She wouldn't even serve me food. And this is like 2 years later. And that's like, oh, he learned that lesson hard. Like, don't dip your pen in the company ink. Like, don't do it.
Yeah.
And if you do, don't drink.
Yeah.
Just stay.
Yeah. Stay till the miracle happens.
Yeah. Okay, so we got 3 big ego deflating moments. Trish?
I don't have any.
Oh my! I didn't know who you were. Oh my God! Are you levitating right now? Crisscross applesauce off the rock?
I'm a spiritual giant.
Oh. God, is that you?
Yeah, there's a million.
So many. Like, pick one. Oh
Yeah,
my
like
God.
what's been the one where you just felt your ego just deflate?
Well, I'm not going to share that here, so we'll go with a less offensive one. I mean, oh God.
Dang it, I just shared that. They might hear
That's your
it.
choice.
Well,
Pride.
do you want me to edit that out?
I got pride.
Oh my God, it's
Still got
beautiful.
pride. No,
My ego was deflated in my drunkenness over and over and over
Is it sober
and over
or-
Sober.
and over.
Sober, in
Yeah.
recovery.
But I mean, I feel like it was easier to live just because I could stop being so stupid all the time.
Yes.
I've done things sober.
Well, yeah.
Ego deflating
Yeah,
sex.
of course. That's what I was talking about that. But I mean, like for
Mark, let her think about it. You tell us. Tell
Mark
us
wanted a
yours.
girls' roundtable. You got it. This is it.
Listen, mine isn't about rehab romances or anything. Like, so that was just stupidity on my part.
Yeah.
Right?
So there is one.
I met her in rehab. It was cool.
She was the love of my life.
We're married now.
She went back out.
Yeah.
Get it.
We were together for 30 days. It was amazing.
No, I'll tell you guys a story off the record.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So, all right. So, but here's my ego deflating moment. It was with my sponsor, and the big one was with the Serenity Prayer. I called him up one day, and it was when I started to get some knowledge, right? And all of a sudden, he gave me this Serenity Prayer ablation. It's not this one. The other one broke. It dried out and broke. And I was reading it one day, and all of a sudden, it's kind of, remember when we were talking about the light bulb? You know, you got to give it a twist, and maybe like a little flick, or a little, pull the chain a couple times. And it's like it did that. It went, zzz, and I was like, oh my God. I called him, and I was like, hey. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I deciphered the Serenity Prayer. And he's like, oh my God. By all means, tell me. And he starts laughing. Right now, I thought like people in AA, like I figured out something that nobody had ever figured out. Like you guys are gonna build like this golden shrine to me, like in the center of the triangle, right? And I'm like, oh my God, it means this, and this. And he's listening, and he's like, and there was this pause. And I just hung my head on the phone, and I was like, I'm just a drunk in recovery, aren't I? And he's like,
You
yeah. Like I had this like thing of, oh my God. But it was, I deciphered the Serenity Prayer. Oh, really? Like
80
it's like
years and
the
millions
know-it-all
of people.
ego was gone. And then he followed it up with this. He had to throw another gem at us. When I got my ear, he presented me with my ear at this meeting. And he gets up there and I'm like, all right, he's going to say all this awesome stuff about me. And he's just like, when Mark came in, he was a real hard case. I could see that I had a lot of work to do. He's like, he knew it all. And let me tell you what, we did some intensive work. And I just felt like if there was any remaining air in that ego balloon, it was just like, he was like stepping on it. And I was like, that was so beautiful.
good.
So,
Oh my God.
Thank God.
for me,
You have a good
just a
sponsor.
drunk in recovery.
Thank God.
Yeah. Boson.
I was just gonna say that.
I have one little one.
All right,
I don't
Trish.
want anyone thinking I think I'm a spiritual. I'm not. I just love the Lord. I'm just grateful He
I'm a
loves me
fan.
too.
I'm a fan of the man.
I'm a fan of the man. So, and people have heard me share this, but I think it's great. I thought I knew it all too. And my first sponsor, I'd be like, listen, So I was thinking, you know, in that second step, da da da, and she'd be like, you know what? Here's $10. Just go back out when you're really ready.
Did she hand you $10?
Oh, she had it in her pocket. She would like always have this $10. It's the '90s. You could get a few shots for that. You know, if you go to the right place, you could be drunk on that.
Yeah.
She'd just be like, well, you know, if the second and the third, she'd be like, you know what? Here's $10. Just go back out. When you're really ready, come back. Don't waste our time. This is life and death. You know, like I could be helping someone else. You know, like you got to do what they say. I had hardcore AA, New York City hardcore AA. She wasn't messing around. She was serious too.
It feels like
And I was like, okay, I'll just do whatever you say.
that's so helpful.
Yeah,
Those experiences that
I needed it.
Yeah.
Not everybody maybe needs that, but God knew I needed that. Because
Yeah.
I was thinking I got
Right.
these steps figured out. And instead of doing what you say, let me try it this way. And she's like, you know what? Here's 10.
I heard a fella say.
Don't let the door hit you on the
We
way
haven't
out.
just seen some more. You didn't ask for 15?
I didn't want nothing. I was like, no, please help me. Man, because she'll break you down.
I heard a fella in recovery say that ego is edging God out. So to deflate that is a true gift and a miracle that we have great sponsors who can help us.
I'd like her to give me that $10 now, though. I like money every single time.
I think that's so helpful. It's you helping me, one drunk helping another, one alcoholic helping another.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. So, all right. So we're going to wrap it up. It's Friday night. Nancy, you wanted to go dance with the man with the white hat, right? Is that...
Or I could sing a song and be like,
All right. So before you sing, we're going to go.
all right, thanks.
Hey, thank you very much, ladies, tonight for your service and for being willing to get together and to do this. This is phenomenal, and to get your perspectives on recovery and share some of our experience, strength, and hope.
Thank you, Mark.
Before we go, does anybody have anything they'd like to say to the newcomer who might be listening?
Don't quit till the miracle happens.
There, Hannah?
There's hope. There's hope. There's peace out there.
Amen.
Yeah.
Like, just keep coming back. Just keep working it and give it over. Surrender, because you will have a life that you could never ever imagine. The happiness and the hope and the peace.
It's beautiful.
That was beautiful.
Nancy?
It works if you work it.
It does, yeah. This is beautiful too. And Candace?
Yeah, and don't think that it's too hard for you and that this doesn't apply to you and you're too bad of a case and you can't do it. If all these drunk messes of people can do anyone, you can do it.
That's right.
That was
100%.
beautiful. All right, well, ladies, thank you so much for your service. Before we go, the
Thanks,
recovery
Mark.
band, they want to take us out. You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Mark.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The recovery band, they're going to take us out. Are you ready to hear it? Listen to
can't
this. Yeah. All right, kick it, boys. Yeah. And the studio audience. That applause is for your ego. All right, thank you so much. Goodbye, everyone, and
Thank
be
you.
well. You're welcome.
God bless.
Yeah.